Over the last month or so, lots of videos have been showing up in my feed urging me to give gaming on Linux a shot. So I downloaded Pop! OS and gave it a shot. I wanted to test this like a casual gamer, you know, the sort of person who looks up a GTX on Craigslist and thinks that since they last upgraded their graphics card 6 years ago, Nvidia quit making GPUs and started making boats instead. Another thing I did to make sure I was testing this like a true casual, I didn't use my Threadripper RTX 2080 workstation and I didn't use my GTX 1070 laptop. Instead, I went with my 3D printed GameCube, rocking a staggering Ryzen 2400G on a stock cooler. I tried some games and performance benchmarks in Windows and got some performance data for 1080p. With all of this data gathered, I wiped my SSD and got Pop! OS running. One side bonus is that in the Pop! Shop, which is like an app store, there are quite a few free games that don't have any ads or tracking cookies. Weird, right? Think along the lines of Pac-Man, Minesweeper, or basically anything you'd find on addictinggames.com back in the day. For the ultra-casuals, this is a goldmine. As a casual gamer trying out Linux, I would probably watch 1 to 3 YouTube videos on the subject and work with that knowledge. So from a couple videos online, Linus Tech Tips included, I knew I had to install Wine and Lutris in addition to Steam. Most of the games that worked on Windows did work on Linux, but at a slight frame decrease, although for some weird reason, TerraTech, which is often single-thread bottlenecked in Windows, got a huge frame uplift. Also, one other thing to note is that Unigine Valley in Windows, that data was under DirectX 11. You can only run it with OpenGL in Linux. Perhaps TerraTech benefited from using a different API, but as a casual gamer who might be inclined to download more RAM if the clickbait button were shiny enough, I don't know, and I don't care. The menu for City Skylines ran great, but the loading screen kept crashing right before the game would actually start, and my casual gamer attention span didn't allow me to investigate the matter further than seeing that other people had had the same problem. But taking a step back here as Matthew from 3DPC, I do know that the true cause of why City Skylines is crashing is because one of the broken assets I have in my Steam Workshop, which would normally just pop up an error message in Windows, is what's crashing it in Linux. But if I'm a casual gamer with 200 subscriptions in the Steam Workshop, I'm not about to uninstall all of them just to figure out which one it is. BeamNG.Drive is one of the games that did not have a native installer in Steam, but I did have to use Lutris for, and that process was actually quite easy. And exactly the sort of thing that a casual gamer could be expected to do on their own. Overall, 5 out of 8 games working is much better than I expected. I suspect many of my normal viewers on this channel who build their own PCs may have a higher percentage of working games. But for the casual gamers who either don't have the wallet or the interest in AAA titles, the community support resources become much smaller. So while I am considering Linux for myself, with the Windows Virtual Machine for the last couple incompatible apps that won't run, I wouldn't recommend it for my family members or other casual gamers. For the casual gamers out there, gaming on Linux is getting close, but it's not here yet. It's absolutely worth a revisit in a couple months. Once I can play 85% of my indie or outdated games with less than 5 minutes of troubleshooting per game, then I'll absolutely recommend Linux no strings attached. But today is not that day. If you want to donate some Dogecoin, there's a link for that below. There's other videos up here on the side of the screen, and as always, there's like, share, comment, and subscribe. See you in the next one.